Sonia Luna here with Aviva Spectrum, wanting to cover what are the top questions we see a lot, but more importantly, what are the top 5 questions really to ask when you interview folks to become your BlackLine implementation partner. I wanted to briefly talk about the psychology of buying. All of you are watching this so you can get a general understanding of what questions should you ask your implementation partner. Now, I'm going to get into it in just a moment, but I really wanted to cover what your real hot buttons are and more importantly, collaborate with your team members to discover what their hot buttons are when they want to hire an implementation partner. The first of which is fear. You are afraid that if you did this on your own, you might make more mistakes. It's going to take you more time, or better yet, it's not going to go well. It's not going to implement very well. The other is money. It's a value perception. In other words, the hot button of buying the services from an implementation partner, you're going through and evaluating the, let's say, a big brand value versus, let's say, a local firm value. You're thinking through the value of a brand that is, let's say, a firm that's been around over hundreds of years, etc., versus a local firm that knows the product and has great, excellent references, but the branding dollars that they have are minuscule in comparison to a large firm. So there's typically a perceived value that you go through when you select an implementation partner. The question is why? What is it that you're grading the value of that service? Is it really experience or is it more of the brand? I also wanted to say that implementation partner relationships, I've seen the best ones work out when the customer really knows their higher purpose is not becoming the guru of BlackLine. Okay, meaning they know that they have limits in terms of their time commitments, and they would much rather work with an implementation partner to get to the net result that they need to measure as quickly and as effectively as possible. Lastly, implementation partners have cultures. You really want to work with someone who you appreciate not only their expertise, but they want to transfer that knowledge to your team members. So that way when they leave, there's a seamless transfer of information and best practices back to your team. Again, that's one of the most ideal scenarios, but it is a hot button that most people, before they buy services from an implementation partner, they think through these emotional issues that they want to make sure that they resolve before they start interviewing partners. Here are the top 5 questions we most commonly face, and the first one's an easy one for everyone. Tell me, how were you initially introduced to BlackLine and how long your firm has been involved with this tool? Again, a win for everybody. It softens the questioning. We know this is an interview process when you talk to implementation partners, but this allows them to know how they really got to get involved with the BlackLine product and in what context. And then also ask them to update, well, if you got to know BlackLine X number of years, tell me what's happened since then. Question 2, what investments do you make every year to get to know BlackLine, right? And some of the functionalities, the features, etc. So investments are a lot of things to a lot of different people, but investments, what you want to hear an implementation partner talk about is their people, investments in the time that they spend in terms of, do they offer webinars on BlackLine? Do they offer face-to-face meetings to cover best practices like we do here at Aviva Spectrum? We actually have meetings talking about different modules with other users, etc. Those are investments that you want to hear an implementation partner talk through and give you an idea, a window of how they really view BlackLine, not only from the present moment of trying to sell you implementation services, but more importantly, how they feel about the product and generally moving forward in other areas of their firm. And then areas of improvement. This is a harder question for implementation partners, I think, to really grasp what they're trying to communicate to a prospective client, but I think you guys get it, right? It's not every software is a perfect silver bullet going to cure all your ills in terms of your close process. So asking a partner to really hone in and talk through about products that they wish could be better refined within the BlackLine tool, or better yet, reporting issues or overall adoption issues. Okay, these are great ways to start a dialogue, so that way you kind of know this implementation partner is not just trying to sell me the product just for them to get the services. It's really a holistic overview of, hey, here are some of the challenges that you might face, because again, no software is perfect. Question 4, tell me about your consultants, right? And what BlackLine certifications do they have? So in other words, you're not just limiting it to how many consultants do you have. What you want to do is give them an opener to say, tell me about them. Are these people who are former controllers, etc., that got to know BlackLine at their last company, but now they're consultants, etc.? And also the plan to keep those folks up to date. The last one, I think, hits a home run for everybody. What recommendations can I expect if we were to engage your firm? Right now, this is different than, hey, do you have really good references? Or if we were really serious, can you give us some references? That's fine and dandy. I've left that question here. But recommendations are key to getting to know how that implementation partner thinks about the product, not only from the first year of implementation, but what I call BlackLine 2.0, which is the years after the first year of implementation. What would that roadmap look like? Does this implementation partner even think that way? Final tips. Ask about BlackLine certifications, and there's plenty of them out there that BlackLine offers. Leverage your LinkedIn connections, and please pick up the phone and connect with these people. I realize we're doing a lot of chatting and pictures and emailing, etc., but picking up the phone and asking folks, how are they connected to this implementation partner? And more importantly, if that implementation partner has written recommendations, they should be happy that you could pick up the phone on any one of those written recommendations on LinkedIn to call them up and ask them why. What was the value of that person taking their time out of the day writing a written recommendation for that implementation consultant, let's say, versus another consultant? Evaluate your priorities and get your team involved. Ask them what matters most to them. What are some of the fear factors that they're dealing with, like not making a mistake and budgetary issues, etc. Right? And list them down. It really helps everybody pick the right person, not only for the right reasons, but better yet, finding the right fit for the right culture. And determine the investment that this partner is putting into BlackLine. Now, we here at Aviva Spectrum have not only done webinars, but we actually have a highly connected group that meets quarterly, and we cover one module and only one module. And we cover basic, moderate, and advanced best practices of that module. So you talk about heavy investments, you talk about getting to know BlackLine on a regular basis and getting our own people trained on it. Boy, you bet. Not only do we physically have to be in a room with usually 20, sometimes 25 other people there, getting them to understand that module, we're the key presenter along with some of the BlackLine folks. And my point is this, it's a critical pivot from, let's say, a general implementation partner versus trying to be the best of breed, and that's what we are trying to do here at Aviva Spectrum. Wanted to finally add in another color of getting to know implementation partners. This is myself and one of our associates, and we were at the BlackLine conference. I highly recommend, if you haven't attended, please attend it. Get to know Therese Tucker, the CEO. She's a wonderful inspiration, I think, to a lot of us in finance and accounting and the way automation should be used in our departments. Finally, I wanted to share with you our BlackLine Services webpage. It talks a lot about the financial transformation process, but more importantly, to the right, you'll see circled insights. We have radio interviews with other folks who have gone down this path before and some of the tips and tricks that they've seen in transforming both, let's say, an internal audit department, but more importantly, the finance and accounting department. Lastly, we have templates in the insights section, and we created our own ROI model. Now, you can do this on your own, no charge, it's free. However, what I'm offering you today here is to connect with me at 424-625-0241 for your own customized ROI model with me personally. You can also email us at info@avivaspectrum.com, and we hope that when you calculate your choices, you choose Aviva Spectrum.